Just as they sang on the ever-popular Disney movie bearing his name, bless my soul, Herc sucks cornhole. Welcome to my brutally honest review of Hercules, and guys, gotta be frank, this card sucks. It's not good. You should not be spending your Spotlight Cash keys on it. You should definitely not be spending your tokens on it. But if you're rolling for like Werewolf and you happen to get it anyways, then okay, maybe it gets buffed in the future, because I think it's going to need some additional passes in terms of a rework. It needs to be cheaper, it needs to be stronger, the effect can't be random. There's got to be something for Hercules, because as it stands right now, this card is unmitigated filth and you should not put it in your decks. Every single deck I'm going to show you here gets better if you cut Hercules. Literally every single one of them, with the exception of maybe one. But other than that, Hercules is a complete tire fire, and I do not recommend it, okay? Now, what's interesting about this change, this card, this patch, everything that happened today, is that Hercules is being outshone by Kingpin, which actually is going to be a really good card. I think Kingpin is going to be the winner of today. But Kingpin, we're going to be talking about tomorrow when I talk about the best decks of the buffed cards. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, by the way, because you're going to want to catch that video. But Kingpin's looking great. And Hercules is looking terrible. So it's like one of those situations where you're like, really, the new card feels awful. An old card that got changed feels great. And so Hercules is like, why? Why am I playing Hercules? Every deck gets better if I get rid of Hercules. So here's a deck I designed called Dance the Debuff. And basically what it's about is utilizing the Kingpin and Hercules to basically bounce a bunch of cards around, move a bunch of cards around from your opponent's side, and do as much damage as you can with the Kingpin debuff, which honestly adds up really fast. I even had an original version where I had Ghost Spider and the Green Goblin, because you could Green Goblin Ghost Spider and slide the Green Goblin into the Kingpin location for an added -2, which is kind of fun, but it was a little too cute. Ultimately, this deck actually worked pretty good. And I really like Magneto with the Kingpin. I like Arrow with the Kingpin. Steggy. All of these worked pretty well. But Hercules was totally unnecessary, because what you would have to do is you would have a Kingpin with Hercules and you'd like drag something in and he would just knock something out. But it wouldn't make sense. Like, okay, you still got the -2 or whatever from Kingpin, and maybe you can do it a little more frequently. It just never felt good, especially at 4 energy. It's so expensive at 4 energy. So this felt really rough. And then we'll go on to the next decks here. I'm going to zoom in for you so you guys can see a little better. The deck that I actually really liked was Herculean Dagger. I had this idea. I thought Dagger's probably, a card that you can rely on in this meta. And if you're going to run Human Torch, I think you need to run Chimera. And ultimately, this deck felt pretty good. But honestly, if you cut Hercules, this deck's probably better. The only time where this deck felt okay was when like you are on turn 5 and you have Hercules out on turn 4, and so you get to play like Vulture and Ghost Spider, and like so you Ghost Spider the Vulture into the Hercules and bounce it. But like it can bounce who knows where, right? You usually want Hercules on the left, so you can Ghost Spider it to the left, and then it bounces something random to the right, and then you Heimdall it, but you can't really, like, there's so many random RNG factors here. Where, like, as it is, move can be difficult to precisely aim where you want to attack. And then all of a sudden with Hercules, it's like you're just throwing caution to the wind, and move doesn't benefit from that. Move needs to be able to calculate, okay, Heimdall's going to move this. Even the Heimdall interaction with Hercules is weird, right? The first card to basically enter gets kicked out, so Heimdall pushes everything, one card comes flying back. That could be cool, but that's not going to be Vulture, because it's very unlikely that Vulture's the first card in a location. It might be Dagger, which could be cool. That's why Dagger, I think, actually carries more of the torch here for this deck. But Hercules, the very random nature of it was honestly off-putting, and it never felt like it was actually performing all that well. Again, in this deck, you basically make it better by cutting Hercules under most circumstances, I would think. And then we had Herculean Evo, this idea of like, hey, playing Hercules with a bunch of debuff-based cards. Can we debuff using Kingpin to sneak out Abomination? The idea was okay, but like straight up, She-Hulk's just better. I do like Kingpin Polaris though. I think the Kingpin Polaris combination is fantastic, but like I just never felt like Hercules was ever relevant, especially at the 4 cost, right? And running Steggy at 4/6, it was 4/7 for like an hour, by the way. Just didn't seem like it was worth it either. So this felt really awkward too. And then we just, okay, so we're like, okay, what if we just run like a Silky Smooth with Kingpin? And it felt okay, but still not good. Like, actually, I was playing Elsa, the classic Elsa with Vision and all the move cards, and I was like, Elsa still is okay, but it's so easy with Silk to fill up that location. The fact that Elsa no longer buffs the entire board feels awful. It got me thinking, I'm like, Elsa should probably be a 3 cost that still buffs the whole board, kind of like Chimera. That would be actually pretty fair, but that's a whole other conversation. The deck, though, like every other one, is better if you cut Hercules. It's Kingpin. I'm blocking it, but it's Kingpin that's the cool card here. So ultimately, Hercules is a massive pass for me. Like, I gotta tell you, I was really disappointed with Hercules. I don't want to hate the card. I want to like it. I know there's a lot of move players out there that love the archetype, and it was fun to play again. But this card felt awful. And I've been playing Marvel Snap long enough that when a card feels undertuned or a card feels really bad, I can pick up on it quite quickly. And this one here feels undertuned. If you're a move lover and you want it in your collection for perhaps that buff that comes in the future, then sure, go for it. But everyone else needs to stay the hell away from this card. It's bad. It's not good. It feels awful. And maybe it gets touched up, but it would have to be cheaper. Like 3 cost, it has to. If at 4, it's way too expensive. It just doesn't make sense. It just does not feel good. So it gets my big 2 thumbs down. No thank you. On that note, though, check out these gameplay highlights. They're still kind of fun. The gameplay highlights are interesting, but they do kind of showcase that it's not Hercules' day today. It's just not. The unfortunate reality I think we're in is that Hercules gets cut from this deck. Like, this is probably a good Kingpin deck and probably an unnecessary Hercules deck. Because if we're trying to do a debuff-based deck, us controlling where they move is like whatever, I suppose. Let's try this for the memes. Oh! Wow! Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like that! Can you believe what we just saw? He's playing Phoenix Force Dagger. Pretty cool. These are none of the cards we want. Extra energy. Do they move and then what happens here? They just snapped on me and I have a massive Vulture turn. They're going to play their Phoenix Force. But check this out. Iron Fist. Vulture. Ghost Spider. Hopefully Hercules sends mid. Or sends... bounces it and moves back. Yeah, this is a lot of Vulture gameplay here. This is Phoenix Force. I actually really like the Phoenix Force play, honestly. I like that a lot. Oh, they got rid of the Bifrost. Sad. Bifrost was an extra hit there. Let's see it, Hercules. Go mid. Go mid. Yes. So she's going to move prior to the start of the turn. Could Heimdall now play Doctor Strange after? Dagger always goes here. I'm going to Heimdall now, pick up Strange. Dagger get knocked. Yes, yes, yes! Okay, we're gaming? That looked good. That looked good. It took me 15 minutes to figure the play out, but it looked good. They're still beating. Come on. Strange, strange, strange. Oh, Doctor Strange. But do we really need to Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange pull him and then just do this for power? We got it. We got the win. Hercules did it. Hercules actually did the thing. Okay. There was a moment there. There was a moment there where Hercules looked really good. But it took RNG, a perfect draw, and a whole lot of luck. But we did it. And Castle Blackstone and Project Pegasus. I gotta get my head into the mind space of playing Move again. Right? Oh, that's exactly what I want. Okay, we got Hercules. The problem is Iron Fist Vulture feels way more awkward now. Maybe do it on 5? I think we do Cloak Iron Fist here. Bruh. No chill, eh? Alright. Here's the play. Move Torch, keep Dagger, Vulture, Iron Fist. Good play with the Kingpin, but I double power, right? Oh, look at that. The Kingpin revealed first. Very notable. This is hard to evaluate because if people weren't playing the Kingpin mirror match so much, this deck could actually potentially pop off. So they're playing a very similar deck to the first deck we were playing. We always lose this. I think we do this just because we're just gonna try it. This is always Magneto, yeah. Close game. Comes down to a single power point on Savage Land. The Kingpin debuffs actually make a lot of difference there.